Hello YouTube and happy New Year's Eve. Wherever you may be close to being to the new year, and some of you probably are already at your new year. Welcome to 2021. We've got a list here that we recently saw, and I figured why not take a look. And we've corrected a few things as well from a few comments before. So a holiday New Year's Eve special here, YouTube exclusive. Black Prison coming from Gabriel Nassif. Let's get to the list. Black Prison here. We've got it in front of us. Gabriel Nassif recently posted about getting a 5.0 with the list and also a Nassif 5.0 with a few punts. To me, there's got a lot of potential here, and I actually have noted that sometimes that Rakdos Pyro Prison or Rakdos Midrange seems to be doing very well in the meta. And this is because sometimes you've just got to interact with your opponent's hand instead of trying to stop things that are already on the battlefield. Uro is a good example, making that draw and gain life is definitely detrimental to several lists, and then just getting to attack once could just be game ending. So we're going to deal with things in the hand through Inquisition of Kozilek and Thoughtseize. One thing that I super like about the list is that it's a lot of 4-ofs. And I talk about if you get a brand new list, the best way to learn and get familiar with the list is the 4-ofs. So we have 4 of Fatal Push, 4 of Bobble, we have 4 of Inquisition, 4 of Thoughtseize, Dark Confidants, Liliana's, and Karn the Great Creator, plus Mindstone. And even Field of Ruin. 4-ofs, just everywhere. Now we've got this Luris package, and we've got Mishra's Bauble, Nile's Spell Bombs, and even some things from the sideboard from Karn the Great Creator, such as Bridge and Torp Orb. That's right. And then we've got also a Sky Sovereign console flagship. I know some of you have been saying, play the ship. Fine. The sideboard also has Damnation in here to help clear up the board. Even though we are not in red and not playing Anger, this is probably just better. Kills a lot of things, make sure we clear the board. Very nice. Spice in the list, I think. Bolus's Citadel is pretty sweet here and could be the card draw that we need late game if we get to that. Now, before we get any further, 1, this is a holiday special. Thank you so much, and consider hitting that subscribe button if you've enjoyed 1, the deck tech, 2, the list, and 3, the league. You probably don't know if you like the league yet. Carry on. But we've also updated so that we have snow-covered lands. I know that was a shout out from some of you on the comments. I've got the snow lands now, so I can now call this a holiday special. Check. Now, last thing. We are going to make a modification. If you do not like the modification, just take it out of the list when you go grab it. But the modification is as follows. This list does not lock out hard completely. It's close, but not totally. What does it need to make sure that this lock is nearly perfect? Well, we've got Necrogen Spellbomb. Now, we're going to put one of these in the sideboard and one of them in the main deck. And if you're not familiar with Necrogen Spellbomb, it reads: sacrifice. Target player discards a card. This is excellent. This is what we want to do. We can also sacrifice and draw a card. Now, you may be wondering, well, okay, so what? Combining Necrogen Spellbomb with Luris here means that if it's in the graveyard, you can use this, sacrifice it, say, the draw step, and as long as your opponent doesn't have some instant speed way to get rid of Luris, they just will not be able to play Magic any further. So, hard locks in sight here, Necrogen Spellbomb being added. We're going to bring this in over 1 Nile Spellbomb main deck, and we're going to do this over 1 Nile Spellbomb sideboard. This makes us slightly weaker to graveyard hate, or not graveyard hate, but graveyard decks, because we don't have that graveyard hate, and we'll see how it goes. Long-winded this is, I know, but we wanted to talk briefly about it. Happy New Year to those who are watching this either before or after the new year. Thank you so much, and let's get into our matches. Black Prison here. Let's go. Here we go. Black Prison in Modern. Let's get to our first match. Now it'll be very interesting to see if the Necrogen Spellbomb actually benefits us or if we'll need more graveyard hate. Hopefully we don't need as much graveyard hate, but sometimes the leagues can be a bit random in what we end up facing. I'm really excited to actually play this list. It's definitely been on my radar of something that's just traditionally more black and more hand disruption based. That's why I think that Rakdos Prison has some legs. I think the combination of Liliana and Chandra is definitely very strong. With that all being said though, I'm excited to see what we get here. Let's play some Magic. Let's find our first opponent. This is Mono Black Control or Black Prison in Modern. And here we go. Opponent is found. Nice and quickly there. Here we go. We get to play first. Always good with a Thoughtseize deck here. We have a 1-lander. Now I do get a double draw with the Mishra's Bauble. Kind of interesting because I have the Mind Stone that would help me get to the Luris. We're not supposed to keep 1-landers here. We really are not. Well, I've got a few more hours before the new year. Let's keep. Nothing changes here. Nothing changes. Don't tell me you wouldn't keep this as well. I thought so. I thought so. We got this. We're going to draw that land. Easy Mind Stone. Oh, I've been asked if I'm streaming. Nope, nope. We are not streaming, Simon. But Happy New Year. They can't hear me. Fluffy, chat more to them. We'll be streaming later today. They don't know that though. All right, let's take a look at what's going on there. My opponent has mulligan to 6 here, which benefits us just slightly. See what this Inquisition can steal. Ooh, Rakdos. All right, so we have a Dreadbore that does get rid of our Liliana, which is a bit disappointing. I do have a Thoughtseize here that I kind of want to take. I'd love to get this Dreadbore too. Ah, well, Thoughtseize it is. Let's protect our hand here. Whoops. Almost forgot to play our Bauble. That would have been terrible. I'll go ahead and see what else they're going to draw here. Watch it be Thoughtseize. Oh, their own Liliana. All right. Well. About that. Dark Confidant's a good draw, but we need a land. Blackcleave Cliffs into play and Liliana to their hand. Oh, we got there. We got there. So, now the big question is, do I play a Dark Confidant and bait out the Dreadbore that way? This at 4 could kill a Liliana, which is kind of a nice little thing. I think I want to do the Mind Stone here and give myself the most options this coming turn. Most options being Dark Confidant plus maybe killing a small creature of their own, being able to play Liliana or Luris, whichever I think approves some sort. It should be like some YouTube sort. I get a big kick out of people that chat to us and know us. Definitely, if you run into us, let us know. All right, perfect example here. I could play Mind Stone now and play Dark Confidant. This makes them probably want to waste the Dreadbore, and that puts them at a Dreadbore as their card played and then a land. This kind of feels nice to me because then I can follow it up with like Luris. And then the Liliana downtick, but I could also do Liliana and then uptick and get rid of something else I've drawn. I think going up here on our mana is just super important. Offering up a creature that's a pain for them to deal with could also be a good thing for us. Now, my opponent could theoretically just play Liliana and downtick, and that would be somewhat okay with me as well. It would expose the Liliana to our Bloodchief's Thirst, and we wouldn't really lose anything from our hand. So I'm expecting this downtick now. They're holding on to their Dreadbore. I'm pretty okay with the position we're currently in. All right, so we have another land here. I have the option to Liliana uptick. Then they have the Dreadbore. I could also Bloodchiefs. Bloodchiefs getting rid of this Liliana seems okay. They currently can't play Seasoned Pyromancer because they have a Black Cleaves Cliffs. They ended up playing, I think, a Swamp. I think they played the Swamp. I think I want to just get rid of this Liliana here. Seems appropriate. We'll play our Urborg down and pass the turn. Maybe a little awkward if they have a follow-up Liliana here, having played this. But if we get one more land, we can also potentially Lurrus and Liliana. Okay. So, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of Liliana here, because I can now actually Lurrus and Dark Confidant, which seems fairly strong. Blackcleave Cliffs, we got Dreadbore and Seasoned Pyromancer. So now it's going to be Lurrus and more than likely Dark Confidant here. Grab the Dark Confidant of things. And because I'm afraid of maybe the Kroxa, new Kroxa or whatever, I'm just going to go ahead and play my lands. I don't think it matters to hold or something. If I have something like a Blood Chiefs or a Fatal Push, maybe I'll hold. I can activate Revolt with Mind Stones to kill like Seasoned Pyromancers. There goes Lurrus, no surprise there. We have more of those though. Dark Confidant sticking here would be nice. But alas, my opponent double Dreadbores us. So no extra draws here. It's a field. I don't particularly need a field. Let's go ahead and cycle a Mind Stone looking for a Spell Bomb. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go one more here. All right, well, apparently we're just going to sit here with Field of Ruins in hand. I'll play one of these. I expect them to play the Kroxa out and make us discard this last card. They may try to kill Dark Confidant, though, and it looks like they are with their own Liliana. So we're fighting back and forth to get some advantage here. Our first opportunity to see if this card is worth it. And immediately, right now, I'd prefer a Spell Bomb. Our brew is not coming together. Let's see here. What I could do is double field my opponent, hoping they don't have more, if you will, mountains. I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do. I could also draw a card with the Spell Bomb. Kind of want to draw a card with this Spell Bomb and see what we got going, because we know it's Seasoned Pyromancer plus something else. So let's draw a card here. I'm nearly 100% confident that my opponent has double mountain somewhere. So let's draw, see what else I can hit. Nothing of value. Let's go ahead and sacrifice, get rid of the Blackcleave Cliffs here. Get some more swamps. And we'll just pass the turn. Now we have ways to definitely get rid of Kroxa. It's not the end of the world that if it shows up and we take a little bit of damage here. My opponent's going to be choosing between Kroxa and maybe the Seasoned Pyromancer. Blood Moon hits the bin here. That's not very good against us. We have swamps. Opponent's tapping 4 mana, so we're going to see Kroxa here. Probably leaving like a Dreadbore and a Thoughtseize if they have any way to recur those. Double Dreadbore. Okay, we'll discard nothing here. Absolutely fine. Now this Liliana is a bit of a pain because if we do get another Lurrus, we're not going to probably keep things around for that long. Thoughtseize here. Let's go ahead and go after their Blackcleave Cliffs again. Thinning us, but also thinning our opponent. Wonder if I should Thoughtseize. You know what? It feels kind of bad because this would save us 3, but then they could just Liliana uptick as well. Let's get rid of the Seasoned Pyromancer, making the Thoughtseize in hand a pretty dead card for them. Uptick and get rid of Thoughtseize. This goes to 3, attack for 9 damage, and hold whatever else they have. Marsh Flats isn't being held, empty-handed. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. I need more than likely Karn here. But at the same time, I also just need what appears to be a removal spell. Extra swamp here doesn't do it. We'll go ahead and go to our game 2. So, Damnation feeling good. Nile's Spellbomb feeling pretty good. I don't mind Necrogen. I think a lot of this I can hold off and leave it here. Maybe I keep the Necrogen here because I have the one main board. So I have 3 cards I'm interested in bringing in. We have also a lot of just cards that work nicely here. Mind Stone out? That can't be right. We want to ramp and we have 22 lands. This Karn Bridge is going to be somewhat important. They haven't really seen a reason to bring in artifact removal yet. So we have that going for us. They know I have Mind Stone, but that doesn't really indicate that I have Karn. Let's take out 1 Liliana for a Damnation. Maybe I just leave the Spellbomb here for the Karn to pick up, and I just need to really get this other Damnation. If I need to get the other Damnation, I'm probably just taking out like a Thoughtseize. Are these 2 okay to take out? I'm really tempted to just do something more like this. I lose 1 Mind Stone here, but the Lilianas are pretty good. Because Liliana is a removal spell anyway. Now, if my opponent does Seasoned Pyromancer, it's going to be really weird. This could be good, though. Maybe I want the Collective Brutalities. Kill something small. Steal something. That can't be right, though. That can't be right. I think we just got unlucky that my opponent had a pair of Dreadbores. Alright, let's go. Necrogen, Fatal Push. Got a Bauble redraw. We have plenty of lands. I like our Fatal Push here. I don't see a problem with this opening hand. The problem would be it's slow. We'll see if slow matters. We'll wait to crack this Bauble because if they do Thoughtseize me, I would like to keep whatever it is that we end up picking up here. I'm actually going to just hold Bauble one more turn. There's a Liliana. We'll just pass the turn here. I can now draw or make them discard. There's nothing too frightening about our Spellbomb to them. If it was a Nile Spellbomb, I'm not really sure they would be frightened about it either. So both do the same thing for us in drawing a card. There's a Channeler. That's an excellent Fatal Push target here. So we'll do that. I think I actually going to go ahead and make them discard a card too. We're not going to pop Bauble until next turn. Okay, another land ends up hitting the bin. We'll slap down a Liliana, uptick, and then pass turn. Happy to get rid of a Field of Ruin. This card doesn't do anything in this matchup. And then this coming turn will pop Bauble. Bloodstained Mire and a Swamp. My opponent doesn't appear to be flooding out just yet, although that's a lot of lands for them just to be ditching here, assumedly having another land. And they do, Bloodstained Mire. Dreadbores are Liliana. Go ahead and take a peek. It's a Fatal Push. We'll see if they end up fetching or not. Double draw here, Mishra's Bauble plus the normal draw for the turn. Our own Fatal Push. We'll put down a Field of Ruin. Not sure if I want to pop the Field of Ruin anytime soon or not. We'll see, we'll see. Bloodstained Mire here, fetching a non-basic. Pretty simple for them to do. They do not pick up that Fatal Push, by the way, so they do not have this card. 4th land for our opponent. Lots of lands here. We can kill a 4-drop here. We can't kill Chandra. Oh gosh, Angrath and Chandra? We're doing everything. Let's go ahead and thin out our library slightly here. This does make Fatal Push a little weaker. Alright. Play our Liliana. Uptick. We're gonna hold so we can have the Fatal Push. I don't have a Dark Confidant in the bin at this moment. So that's good for us. Here's the battle of the ages, right? Chandra versus Liliana. Opponent discarded a mountain, has 2 unknown cards here. This Angrath will just remain on the battlefield forever. Thanks, Magic Online. Thought seizes away my Fatal Push. Well, that gives me the opportunity to hit the F6 button. Chandra uptick here for mana. That's never good. Puts a Seasoned Pyromancer into play. Draws 2. Soul Guide Lantern. Gets rid of a card. Probably the Bobble or the Necrogen Spellbomb here. Bobble's taken. Lurrus is not as strong. Karn, the Great Creator. So... very interesting. So I will make them discard this card, but I will have to do Karn first. I could also decide not to make them discard and end up killing this. If I kill that, my next move probably has to be a Spyglass to stop Chandra from killing us. Which means Karn probably has to go up instead of down to avoid a bolt. By playing Karn first and giving them whatever this card is, they have the draw plus the Chandra uptick to find Dreadbore. We've seen 1 Dreadbore, not 2. Assuming that I go up with Karn and up with Liliana here, this attacks for 2, putting this down. This could then down tick, but if my opponent gets a second creature, we're in trouble. If they hit a land here, they're going to get tokens with the Seasoned Pyromancer. Probably something I can deal with. Let's make them sacrifice the Seasoned Pyromancer, play the Karn, and uptick the Karn because I don't want a Thoughtseize to steal my card away. The other thing I could do is I could down tick here. And if I down tick, I could get like the Batterskull, Sky Sovereign, or even Liquid Metal Coating. If I do that, that gives me the opportunity to shut down not only mana, but it could give me some other options here. Alternatively, I could get a Spell Bomb here. And if I get a Spell Bomb, I could play the Spell Bomb and then go down to get a Spyglass as well. Losing Spell Bomb's not the worst. I could also get Bridge here, and Bridge is pretty good against some of their stuff as well. Let's go down. Let's get Bridge because I don't think they brought in artifact removal. And if they are playing, I can get Bobble. I think I want to get Bridge here. The only thing that this maybe is a bad thing against is if they're able to kill Karn, then I have nothing coming down for Chandra. There's no bolt, so you have to play a little bit like, hey, I haven't seen this, so don't kill me. Triome passed over, 2 unknown cards here. I need it to not be a Dreadbore. Thought Seizes. Avoided that one. Alright, so Karn's gonna go get a Spyglass, probably. I want the Dark Confidant in play, too. Want it all. I think we can start with a Spyglass just to see what that last card is. So, Spyglass here. I'm wondering if I should uptick here in case it's a way to get rid of the Spyglass. I think I've just got to chance it that it's an Abrade or K command here. Whew, it's a land. All right. Chandra, no more. Dark Confidant in. They didn't play the land, so I get to Liliana it away, which keeps the Seasoned Pyromancer from generating tokens. We're in a okay spot, albeit one K command away from losing some stuff. Fatal pushes, Dark Confidant, all right. I don't believe I want to boot up this, although with bonus Karn, this kind of gets interesting. Bonus Karn is going to go get something tasty here. I could uptick this. I don't want to uptick it on the Spyglass anyway. Let's go ahead and up this first. And I think I'm going to go get a Nile Spellbomb. Whoa. All right, what are we gonna get with this? Maybe it's just liquid metal coating. Could also be the sky ship. Could be a batter skull. I mean, I have a lot of options here. Kind of want to get like batter skull or sky sovereign. Let's liquid metal just calls to me as a prison player, but let's go ahead and get the flagship here. I can get liquid metal coating next turn if they end up like thought seizing this away. And this gives us some protection if I can hit that next land. It would be super nice to have a land for Karn. Those Darksteel Citadel folks cheering away. Well, there's Liliana. So this is where I can now go get liquid metal coating and shut off this Liliana. We did hit the land. Alternatively, now I could go get a batter skull. I'm one away from the Citadel. Batter skull is just a 5/5 anyway if they kill it with the Liliana. Let's go get batter skull. This should be interesting. Just slam down a batter skull, living weapon, and uptick here. My opponent probably downticks to kill this, and then Karn can be used on batter skull to attack. This is really far outside the range of a fatal push, so we're good there. Abrading Chandra's Torch of Defiance here. Chandra Emblem, more than likely now. Okay. Liliana downtick, sacrifice Germ. All right, so we hit a land here. So it's going to be land. This is rough. So land played, uptick. We will... If I uptick with the batter skull, it's okay here. And then I have to just attack their Liliana. Because if not, they'll just downtick kill this. And then I have to return it. Okay, Liliana out of range. We'll see if they have a land or not. They do have a land. Okay. So that means they get Seasoned Pyromancer tokens back if they want them. We have a Dark Confidant. If I downtick with Karn, what can I go get right now? I could get the Spell Bomb here. I have a feeling that these Seasoned Pyromancers are just going to show up. So what do I do to win the game faster? Let's play Dark Confidant here. Let's go up with the batter skull. Let's attack. I'm trying to decide if I want to do this Liliana. So Batterskull's in. My opponent's fetching down to 12. They're going to put Seasoned Pyromancer tokens back in play. So here I could separate like all the black mana or the red mana. We're pretty close to it. They're going to cast whatever they play here. I think Liliana downtick is what I need to do. And I think I'm going to give them the 2 red and the elemental. I actually could kind of do it this way. Like if I give them the 2 red and the elemental, this gives them black though. I really kind of hate that. What if I gave them all the black and the elemental, or they can have black and red, but only 2 mana? This feels like this is a good option here. I might even just like put the Soul Guide Lantern on this side, so if they get an Abrade, they couldn't hit this. They'd have to hit the Dark Confidant. I think we can do it this way. Just give them the 1 elemental here. You can have black mana and elemental, or you can have a bit of red and a little bit of black, but less mana. All right, they choose wisely. We can hook Batterskull up to a Dark Confidant here as well. We have a land for my opponent, so that's good for us. Dark Confidant trigger. We have a bauble and a land. Let's see what their next card is, and that'll inform us of what we're doing. It's a Blood Crypt. So I can actually attach this and I will win. We'll win over the next turn here. We can go down here as well to go get a Liquid Metal Coating. I could also Necrogen. Necrogen is kind of cute here. Let's do it. In we go. Gain 6 here. Batterskull getting there. Upkeep stop. Could stop for the Necrogen here, or I can let them have the card. I'll probably just let them have the card here because we know it's just a Blood Crypt. I'm drawing a card as well. To Damnation. Top of the library is just a land. We get game 2. There you go. We got out of that one. Just barely. Nice. All right. Any changes? Any changes? Batterskull, Sky Sovereigns were super nice there. This is, we can just, there's a hide. Just hide it. I feel like this Duress and Thoughtseize, maybe just the Duress makes sense. Because there is a bunch of non-creatures they are playing. I saw an extra Planeswalker there. Necrogen Spellbomb can come out and like the Duress comes in. Wondering if I can find room for this Thoughtseize too. I'm on the draw. Being on the draw with maybe this Thoughtseize wouldn't be bad. Karns were clutch. Liliana was pretty clutch there as well. Could strip 1 bauble out for a Thoughtseize because I can go get them the Karn and the bauble if we wanted to, and we're ahead with Luris. I think I want as much hand disruption as possible against our opponent. Rakdos is definitely very difficult for us to deal with. We did see an Abrade, so that's how they get rid of our artifacts, so let's be mindful of that as well. I think we'll submit with just the slight changes just because of draw play. Let's go. Hand looks great. We've got good removal here. No hand disruption, but I like being able to interact with my opponent. We'll keep. Urborg will be the last thing I play. My opponent does like black mana. Blackcleave Cliffs. And leads off with an Inquisition. You may take whatever you like. Looks like my opponent did mulligan a little bit here too. Yeah, they began with 6 cards. 1 mulligan. All right, Bloodchief's Thirst. This tells me that they have Planeswalkers in hand. We had a land. We'll put this land off to the side because we know they don't know about this land. Okay. Suppose we won't yield here in case my opponent plays a Channeler. It's a Triome. I do like this slight splash of white. They might be playing Ensnaring Bridge, or not Ensnaring Bridge, Engineered Explosives. So I like this little splash here. Extra Thoughtseize. We've got 3 cards for my opponent. They know about this swamp. We'll move it back over to the right. Blood Chiefs and Liliana were pitched here. We get to see what's going on over there. Nice late Thoughtseize, but a Thoughtseize nonetheless. Probably the one we brought in. Fatal Push and a Dreadbore. Well, the Dreadbore kills Liliana's and Karn, so we'll take that and just worry about a Fatal Push later. This game is going to come down to who top decks first, it looks like. Bloodstained Mire for our opponent. Fatal Push and an unknown card. There's a Channeler. We'll go ahead and get rid of that. They knew we were going to get rid of that. So it's Fatal Push and 2 lands. Could argue one of these was the mulligan, so we're up a card, it looks like. All right, well, I don't want them to hit a Luris or something else. We have a ways to get back our Dark Confidant. My opponent should fetch here and kill this with the Fatal Push. And now we're up Fatal Push and a land here. And really, like I said, it's going to come down to the top deck. Now, they need a 4th land for things like Chandra, 5th land for Angrath. In this case, we have 4 for our Karn when we hit it. Top deck is a land for our opponent, and top deck for us is a land. Once again, I don't really want to give them more black, although it seems they have all black, so maybe we don't need to be doing what we did there. Urborg and pass turn, just going back and forth here. I wouldn't mind a field if I did find it, just to have a way to get rid of, say, a 3-drop. Bloodstained Mire here. They didn't draw this last turn, so they're holding a card. We'll play our own Dark Confidant here and pass. Any future lands I'll probably hold in case we have Liliana battles or something like that. No instant speed removal for Dark Confidant. My opponent plays a land. And if this sticks, we're in good shape. Dreadbore it is. So it did not stick. That being said, they're empty-handed once again. We'll pass turn, and now maybe I can get my opponent to rip a Thoughtseize Inquisition and fire it off. It would take a Fatal Push, so there is that. Fetching with Bloodstained Mire and Blood Crypt. Who will rip first here? 5, 6, 7? If we hit Karn, we could do Karn downtick and Swamp. Land for my opponent. We hit a Bobble. I'll play Bobble and I'm just going to pass. I don't need to know this next card. What I need to avoid is a Thoughtseize Inquisition. Who will hit a card first? We have a little more card draw than my opponent. Just a little bit, though. Ah, we've hit a Chandra now. All right. Got to beat Chandra. It's doable. Oh, they find a bolt. That's an extra point of damage instead of just the 2. They'll fire this off. All right, down to 15 all. Take a look at what's the next card, and we'll end up drawing our card. It's a Croxa. That's super good for them. Croxa's really good for them. Okay. But Karn's really good for us. So, how do we want to attack this? We know it's Croxa next. If I play Karn, 1, 2, 3, 4, I can play Bridge, I could play a Liquid Metal Coating, I could play Spyglass right now. I'm tempted for Liquid Metal Coating or Spyglass. Probably more the Spyglass side of things. I could also get a Nile Spellbomb and plan to draw. We don't know what's underneath, so when the Chandra goes up here, It could find like a bolt. It could find numerous other things. Let's go ahead and play Karn. Down tick Spyglass. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So a liquid metal clothing doesn't do much. If they want to replay the Croxa, they will need to do all of that. They'll make me discard twice here. Maybe it really is just Nile Spellbomb here and just make it so they can only cast Croxa plus whatever they find with the Chandra. And I get to draw another card here. Man, if they have an Abrade though, Croxa and then Abrade, then 1, 2, 3, they won't be able to kill this. If it's a bolt, it's frustrating. Let's do the Spell Bomb here because I know what's coming. And we will wait to see what they do with Chandra here. We know it's a Croxa, so in response to Croxa, I can pop Spell Bomb. They've got to know that something graveyard-esque is showing up here. The bobble pays off this time around. Let's see what they do with Chandra. I could see them upticking this first. They do, and they find nothing. Perfect. All right. Croxa it is. I'll probably let it ETB here to see if they stack the triggers correctly here. If they stack it so that sacrifice happens first, we get to get the Croxa before casting. If we don't, then we'll just obviously pop the Spell Bomb here. Okay. They stack correctly. Good job. Pay. Drew another Fatal Push. We can probably easily just get rid of a Fatal Push now. I like having the extra land. I could also just get rid of the land. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know what? Land doesn't hurt me that much. A couple removal spells is super nice to have. Okay, so we have a Chandra at 6 here, Karn at 3, and going down one more time. Extra land. So now the question is, what are we doing with our lands and this Chandra here? If we play into the Abrade again, we're in a bit of trouble. I could play the Batter Skull down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. I can't pick it back up though. It's probably just Spyglass now. I could play a Bolas Citadel, but we're a bit low on life. Sky Sovereign could just kill this too, which is super tempting. I do somewhat like that option. Kind of gives us a game-ending play here. Let's get the Sky Sovereign's flagship here. Everyone's telling me to play this boat. We're gonna play the boat. Gonna play the boat. There we go. 3 damage to Chandra here. I don't see a reason not to play our land. That way I can Fatal Push a few things here. Got the Damnation to clear creatures here. Got Fatal Pushes for smaller creatures. We'll see what this Chandra uptick plus the draw. We're giving them basically another draw. Land drop for my opponent. upticks and finds a Thoughtseize. Do they want to do damage or do they want to check our hand and have more information? I like that. Checking our hand here. I like that. Okay. Top deck wars again. They go down to 13. We hit a land. Boat up. Attack Chandra. Chandra's dead. We're gonna hold the swamp here. We do expose this boat every turn. Something that could get killed. Seasoned Pyromancer. This is good for them. They know what we have. Gets a few draws though. Land and... this is 5 converted mana cost, so Fatal Push, we're safe from that. Uh-oh. Marsh Flats here, cracking this. Swamp. Liliana? Channeler. All right, well, we can Damnation the board here if I want to. I'll have to see if that's what I feel like doing. Damnation, they can't get Seasoned Pyromancer tokens back. I think we just do that. Damnation here. We can probably safely play a land. Uptick. Sky Sovereign. Attack. It's flying as well, which is super good. In for 5. Go ahead, opponent. What do you get? No Walking Ballistas in the sideboard. My opponent moves straight to beginning combat. That's good. No hasty things. No hazards. One, two, three, Liliana. All right. Liliana kills this. The boat's dead. I guess it's Batterskull next. And they're just gonna bring the tokens back here. This is probably an okay time to do a Fatal Push. Oh, they bring Kroxa back. That's right. Okay. So we'll go ahead and kill Kroxa here, and we'll lose this swamp as well. We take a little more damage. 7-all. It's a close one. Oh, Luris is good. All right, so Luris, we can do a Necrogen. 1, 2, 3, +1, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 afterwards. 1, 2, 3, let's play Luris. Let's do Bobble. Bobble, check what's gonna happen. It's a Lightning Bolt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm gonna go ahead and go get a Batterskull here. Play that down and pass the turn. We just know it's a bolt coming. We end up drawing a card here as well. We're gonna lose the card to Liliana. That's totally fine. The bolt's probably gotta hit Luris here. Uptick with the Liliana, and then we'll see what we're doing. Inquisition's fine to skip over. Bolt in hand. Do they bolt Karn? If they do, they die. So Karn is safe. Strangely enough. Bolts Luris. Makes sense here. Liliana up. And pass the turn back. A Bobble. Let's check what they're drawing. My opponent will be drawing a Swamp. I think I've still got to attack maybe Liliana here. Up and pass. We're close on time here. I've got 2 attacks I'm drawing with Bobble here. Nile's Spellbomb looks good. Swamp for my opponent. Play the Nile Spellbomb. Play Liliana. Let's draw with Spellbomb. Just in case I get like another creature I want to be playing. If not, I might use Necrogen. Oh, Luris is great. Luris. We get to play a Bobble here, get to see what my opponent's drawing. All the clicks here. Doing everything. A Liliana of the Veil. That's going to do it. That is going to do it. We'll attack with Batterskull here. Opponent will play a Liliana. We have the Luris to sacrifice. Could even sacrifice the Germ and Batterskull up. 4 damage. Final card. Not Rakdos. Rakdos losing. Black Prison winning. A lot of decisions that have to be made, though. Quite a few. Bobble trigger here. Draw our card. Thoughtseize goes away because of the Liliana. Unless they downtick. GG's. Woohoo! Good one to start out here. Black Prison taking it down. Rakdos beaten. Maybe there is something here. We'll have to play a little quicker if we can. Lots of decisions to make, though. We'll see you in match number 2. Match 1 behind us. Match 2 approaching. Let's find ourselves an opponent. And let's make some quicker decisions. Already, I would like one more Blood Chief's Thirst over Fatal Push, but we cannot be results oriented. We need to focus on what happened and what happens in our future games. Match 2. Opponent found. Let's play. We get to go first. Love it. 2 lands here, plus a redraw. All right. No Thoughtseize, no Inquisition, but the Bobble and maybe a double Inquisition Thoughtseize potentially afterwards seems okay. Not to mention, we've got kind of the combination of Luris and Bobble already in hand, and that's always a super nice little dual action thing going on. And because we are the, if you will, the prison, Karn's not a bad one to see either. Slower hand. We'll see how the slow hand goes. Opponent mulligan to 6, takes their draw, 7 cards. Mountain. Looks like we've got a hasty threat. No worries here, just hasty. Another Mishra's Bobble. Oh no, sorry, Sprite Dragon. I cracked Mishra's Bobble. Draw. We've got some lands. Might be doing Liliana downtick to get rid of something. We just need to stave this off a little bit, probably. Sprite Dragon in. Hits for 2. Being able to Liliana then like Luris and Bobble here to draw more cards and find more removal. And probably get one of these to attack Liliana seems really good. Especially with the Fatal Push. We'll use Liliana as a sacrifice here. I could even potentially go up and just get rid of Karn. But I think this kills a creature here and they're gonna just attack Liliana pretty safely. Even if it's just with a Swift Spear and they end up beefing this up to attack me. Life total at 17 feels really strong against them in turn 3. Bonus Swift Spear, so here we go. Maybe a bolt or something. Still saving us probably 2 points of damage. Lava Dart, okay. Not quite 2 points, but that'll work for them. Hits us for 4, we're down to 13. Got a Fatal Push in hand. So we get to Luris and Fatal Push, which is kind of nice. Luris, Fatal Push, Bobble. Draw. Do 1-2, I could play Mind Stone down. And then Luris and Bobble. But I like the idea of a Fatal Push here. So let's Luris. Let's Bobble. We can also see what their next card is. I don't really care about mine. Let's go ahead and see what's next. Soulscar Mage. So this is kind of worth the Fatal Push, but also so is the Sprite Dragon. Draw with Bobble, Mind Stone number 2. Maybe I can get to a point where I have enough to Karn down tick here. So Swift Spear played Lava Dart number 1 on Luris. So they're gonna redo one of these Lava Darts out of the yard. And I'll just hit the Sprite Dragon. They'll hit me for 6, it looks like. Would it be smarter to get hit for 7? Probably not. I'm thinking about this is gonna sneak under the bridge. Probably doesn't matter too much. Let's just hit this and take 6 instead. I do have Batter Skull, which may just be a better idea than a... I don't know. Maybe better than a bridge. Getting hit for 6, I'm going to 7. We know it's Soulscar Mage and something else. My opponent has something here, and it's Mutagenic Growth. All right. 6, 10, go to 3. 3 and 8 says Soulscar Mage left. We hit an Urborg. So 1, 2, play a Mind Stone, play a Karn. And down tick with this. Really just have to go get a Batter Skull and hope they don't get a Bolt. I could get the ship and play the ship to blow up a creature, but I think gaining some life is going to be required. I can also uptick on a Mind Stone here. Crash Through does it, doing 4 damage with the Prowess trigger. All right, we tried. We tried. All right, Dark Confidants feel a little weird. Collective Brutality in, Damnation's probably okay at this point. Let's think here. Duress is okay. Probably can get rid of the pair, a couple of Thought Seizes here, and like a Dark Confidant. Dark Confidant's probably just a blocker for the most part. Bring just kind of this stuff in. Got lots of removal. We know what we got to kill. And I do think Karn going and fetching just a Batter Skull is a fine thing. We also have Luris main decked. Yeah, I think this is good. Prowess list, more the Blitz variation. Hand is decent, except I have a Field of Ruin and not a Swamp. Do we chance a double draw with Bobble here and find Inquisition Blood Chiefs or Fatal Push and be able to use them? I'm really tempted to. The field is just really awkward. But this is 2 removal spells. Let's keep. Let's keep. It's 2 removal spells. It's pretty good, and it's not really the worst discard spell as well. We've been pretty lucky with the bobbles and drawing the appropriate lands. Just got to be a little lucky here. My opponent's an aggressive fast deck, so why not give it our best shot? This is one of 4 lands that are not black. I could hit an Urborg too. I almost want a second Urborg. Almost. All right, a Bedlam Reveler. Well, that's not going to show up anytime soon. Draw with the bauble is a... Please be a swamp. That's not a swamp. Karn, hello. Spire Bluff Canal. Okay. Soulscar Mage. At least it's not a hasty threat. Give me a land here. Whew, we did it. We did it. All right. Let's... How do we want to do this? Do we want to Inquisition or do we want to kill this? Let's Blood Chiefs the Soulscar Mage and pass. Worry about an Inquisition next turn. Arid Mesa for our opponent. Fetching. If we hit another land and they play like a Sprite Dragon here to set them up for the following turn, we could just Liliana downtick. That will probably encourage a Bolt or at least a Lava Dart. Hit the Liliana. Steam Vents. And there's a Sprite Dragon, so we get hit for 1. Looking for that land for Liliana. That or land and Inquisition Fatal Push. Alright. Kind of like Inquisition Fatal Push here, just a bit more. Could also fix my mana so that I have more black here and then just do a Fatal Push on the Sprite Dragon or an Inquisition upstairs. I don't think I need to fix my mana. Let's Inquisition to see what else is going to happen to us. We know about the Bedlam Reveler. This gives me an opportunity to see what else my opponent's got. We have an Abrade, we have a Gut Shot, and we have a Lava Dart. We also have an Opt. Really don't have too much that's terribly frightening here. I'm almost tempted to just put down the Dark Confidant here. Get rid of, say, an Opt. Could even get rid of, like, the Gut Shot, because it's free damage, and force them to do, like, Lava Dart plus Opt or something. If I hit a land, I can Liliana and kill. Maybe I take the Abrade, because the Karn could get us there. Let's take the Abrade and put the Dark Confidant down. We're going to use our life total as a resource briefly here. Hoping that my opponent decides Dark Confidant is problematic enough that they want to Gut Shot it or Lava Dart it. This will increase Sprite Dragon fairly heavily. We'll just accept that fate. Ops for starters. Yield our Sprite Dragon triggers here as it grows. And with this Opt, they put it on top of their library. So they like it enough to have the card. Kind of want them to kill this Dark Confidant. This is hopefully going to bait a Gut Shot or a Lava Dart here. Lava Darts, so there it is. Okay, it's a 3. Getting close to Bedlam Reveler being a thing that my opponent can do. Opts to Gut Shot us, putting us to 18 plus the 4 attack here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards. Instant or sorcery, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 cards, so this is 4 mana. Nice. So now I can safely... I could Liliana, but if I Liliana uptick here... Let's go ahead... Bedlam Reveler is going to be very difficult for us to kill. Let's go ahead and use Liliana and downtick Liliana and save ourselves the Fatal Push. We know it's Bedlam plus 2 other cards here, and if they want to use this Lava Dart, they're going to lose a land plus they'll lose a land, and also closer to Bedlam Reveler won't happen. So kill Sprite Dragon, give them the turn back. A Stormwing is dangerous, a Bedlam Reveler is dangerous right now. Neither of which are really castable. Stormwing, I suppose, is. Float the mana, Lava Dart, and plap it down. Love to see a spell go this way. Especially with a Karn that I could down tick and get something. So they cast a Lava Dart. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards in the yard here. There's no creature, I assume, because they did Lava Dart first. A land here, Karn down tick would be nice. We do hit that land. Karn down tick would make the Bedlam Reveler a dead card. I could also get a Batterskull here. I think a down tick for a Nile Spellbomb is okay. I have one of those, right? We do have a Spellbomb. This opens this up to a bolt, but then it's a bolt going here. I think I can win the long game. We won't draw with the Spellbomb, unfortunately. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and if they get a land, just get rid of their graveyard now. If they top deck a land and it's not a fetch land, I don't get to interact and they get a Bedlam Reveler down. I'd rather kill this. We know Bedlam Reveler just dodge the bolt or something, and next turn down tick put Batterskull into play. All right, they had the bolt. That's okay. That's okay. We've got a Fatal Push here for a follow-up creature, and Bedlam Reveler, once again, is just hard to cast. There we go, Sprite Dragon. All right, everything's working out reasonably well. Opponent attacks for 1, down to 13. Might even take the chance to Field of Ruin something here. Might give them a little more mana for a turn, but that's okay. This is a close one. This is a close one. Extra Fatal Push here. Now we don't have to really do this. Opponent loves the content. Thank you. That's 2 for 2. What kind of New Year's Eve is this gonna be? All right, get a Swamp here. We got double Fatal Push. We'll just wait casually with the Sprite Dragon in play. Go ahead, opponent. No fear, no fear. Just a Sprite Dragon. We have another creature. Another Spritey Dragon. Stage is lit. Deciding to light the stage before attacking. There's a Swift Spear and a Fiery Islet. Well, we'll definitely kill Sprite Dragon. I don't need to take this. So, goodbye. No damage for you. Liliana's nice here. 1, 2, 3, Liliana. Pass the turn because I can Fatal Push the Swift Spear. And then I could potentially get rid of this Bedlam Reveler depending on what else they have in their hand. I could have upticked there, but then I would be dealing with Swift Spear, Fiery Islet, and whatever the draw is, which means my Liliana could die. Fiery Islet played. Swift Spear in play. I think I can beat the Bedlam Reveler from the hand. Attacks Liliana here. Chooses against that. Attacks Liliana. Go to blocks. Wonder if I'm supposed to let this like roll through for 2 damage here. Lava Dart gets really awkward. It's Fatal Push. All right. It's clear what we have here now. Nothing else going on. What do we have here? What do we got? Soul Scar Mage and the Bedlam Reveler in hand. This is an easy uptick. So, player Spellbomb. Uptick. They're gonna crack the Fiery Islet here. Alright, whatever. Up, crack Fiery Islet so they don't have to get rid of Bedlam Reveler. They get rid of the other card. We're gonna Nile Spellbomb here after whatever's discarded. Trying to make Liliana good here. We're trying. Stormwing, so we know it's Bedlam Reveler. Let's go ahead and hit their graveyard here. Once again, we will draw. It's a Dark Confidant. It's kind of nice because Dark Confidant can block here. We're at a high enough life total that Dark Confidant itself is probably just not... It's not scary. It's not going to kill me immediately. Paying cost here. We light the stage, which means the Bedlam Reveler is taken care of by the Liliana. This is a 2/3 now. We have a pair of Stormwings. I could even just let this through to the Liliana, uptick or downtick. I might want to just take a draw with my Dark Confidant. How bad could it be? How bad could it be? We'll take it like this. 2 Stormwings don't scare me. Dark Confidant trigger here. Oh darn. It hurt. It was a damnation. It hurt. Let's go up here. Let's get rid of the Bedlam Reveler. We'll get rid of our own Swamp. I'm going to allow Dark Confidant to sit here for a turn, only because if they happen to get a Stormwing down, I would love to be able to Damnation the Stormwing as well. Damnation is almost 100% being fired off this next turn. We don't want Dark Confidant anymore. How bad? Real bad. Alright, they decide that playing a land's fine here. Dark Confidant, be kind. Oh my gosh. It hurts. Well, let's attack with Dark Confidant. Maybe I don't have to burn the Damnation just yet. Oh my gosh, that hurt. Will they block? If they don't block, I have to Damnation. Go ahead and Damnation the board. I can pretty safely uptick here so that I'm out of bolt range for Liliana. Get rid of a Karn. How bad can Dark Confidant be? We've done 8 to ourselves. Land for my opponent. It is a window of opportunity. Karn down tick for sure, unless it's maybe Laris. Karn down tick. Go get a Batter Skull. We can go up with Liliana here because I have a Swamp. Pass turn. Alright, we're at 5. We need to avoid 2 direct damage spells to my face. Manamorphose is not a direct damage. Oh, we don't get to see that card. Red, red. I can even uptick with Liliana first, probably. Lava Dart's me. Alright. They can sacrifice it and Lava Dart again. Need to dodge one time here. Mind Stone, huh? Alright, so how do we dodge one more? Well, I've got to put Batter Skull down. I probably have nothing else I can really do. Yeah, there's not a whole lot I can do here. So, Batterskull in play. Living Weapon. Well, I don't know. What else could I grab here? I guess I'll go get a Sky Sovereign. It's kind of a cute thing to do. Uptick with the Liliana. Get rid of our Mind Stone. No Bolt. One time. Lava Dart in Yard. No Bolt. Thinning that list. Thinning it out. It can be a hasty creature. It can be a creature. Pretty much any creature. Just not Bolt. It's Bolt. What killed us? Dark Confidant killed us. Stab to the heart. Match 2 complete here. If we didn't do the Dark Confidant, we wouldn't have been as far deep into the cards that we had either. It's tough to say. Maybe Dark Confidant was not the play. We'll see you in match 3 and see if we can not inflict so much damage to ourselves. Match 3 coming up here. Might have self-inflicted some of that damage in the last game. We would have had to go to a game 3 as well, and they would have been on the play. No guarantees we would have beat them. Let's just be mindful. Dark Confidant can hurt. Next match coming up though, match 3. Let's see if we can get the play here. Playing our Black Prison list here on our New Year's special exclusive, running these snow-covered swamps. Let's find an opponent. Opponent has been found. Match 3. All right, we are on the draw. We've got some Inquisitions, some lands. Seems like a decent hand. We have to remember that we don't have aggressive plans, so any of this hand interaction is pretty good. We've got Bobble here and Lonely Sandbar. This is an interesting pair. We can apparently just Inquisition my opponent to death, though, top decking another Inquisition. Let's steal away the Emery and pass the turn. We do have things to take care of Uro in the graveyard as well. Scalding Tarn for my opponent. Bobble. We don't get to see that card, unfortunately. Let's play an Urborg here so the field is online next turn. We'll just double Inquisition my opponent and see where they can go from here. Cryptic and Urza. Sounds questionable. Picks up probably a land, at least. Fetching with Scalding Tarn, making more island mana. Fetching with Misty Rainforest. Things are looking a little bit sketchy here because my opponent could have a lot of green mana coming up and could get Uros. My opponent drew an Uro. So they drew a land and an Uro, and they're drawing a new card, so Ghost Quarter. Okay, well, we have our own Bobble. I'm sure that they could get green mana. So Field of the Ruin really makes sense here, or am I just playing double Mind Stone? We'll probably need to set up for our future turns. Double Mind Stone here and just deal with the Uro that's in the yard when they Ghost Quarter themselves. We'll see what they're drawing. Drawing a Gilded Goose. Well, that doesn't get us yet. Liliana. Opponent's got that Cryptic and Urza mana. We know it's Gilded Goose. Besides Urza is where they want to be. It's pretty good for them. Okay. We had a Karn the Great Creator. Cryptic and Goose. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. We could go get Spell Bomb, pop the Spell Bomb. If my opponent doesn't... No, they have the Gilded Goose, so they'll have enough here. Could Liliana down tick? If I do Liliana down tick, I don't know what I'm gonna get. Probably have to get rid of the Uro in the yard. Maybe take a draw as well. So Karn, down tick, yes. Go get our Spell Bomb, play our Spell Bomb, and take the draw with the Spell Bomb. Another field, all right. Opponent's gonna play Gilded Goose and probably just smack us with Construct and Urza, clearing Karn. There's Gilded Goose. This attack means they're not spinning, they won't have Cryptic Command online. I have Field of Ruins that could help me get rid of Urza with a Fatal Push. No such things. Let's take one draw here. Kind of want to take one more. Is that all? Liliana. Oh. Got a counterspell? Oh, we have a counterspell because of the food and Urza. That's fine. Get rid of the counterspell. Get out of here. This is going to be a tough match. Plays an Emery. Mox Amber and Galvanic Blast plus a Gilded Goose. Land, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 mana. We can attack with constructs here. We could also make another food token. I'm going to need a bridge. And then I'm going to need to not have Cryptic take it away. Uh-oh. In for 5? Decides 1 because they can spin the wheel with Urza here. We had a Bobble. That's not what we want. We'll stop on my opponent's upkeep here to see what they're drawing. They're going to spin the wheel with Urza here at end step. They can replay things with the Emery, such as the Bobble or the Mox Amber. My opponent finds a Cryptic Command. Just tap and draw. They could even return like Urza back to hand. Replay Urza. It returns a Urborg. We missed that card that they drew. All right, they're getting a Triome here. We're flooding out a little bit. Just a little bit of flooding out. Misty Rainforest, we know about this Triome that they've picked up. So my opponent's got plenty of lands here too. 2 Gooses can draw this up to 6. Which makes it a 3-turn clock probably by using future things. They've got also Bobble that they can bring back. I'm not feeling this one. Triome cycled here. Mox Amber. This is a 6/6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Using Urza here. Spinning the wheel finds a Scalding Tarn. They've already played a land for the turn. Attacks for 6 here, does not make with Goose, does make with Goose. Makes it 7, puts us to 12. We had a castle, we'll go ahead and concede. We have 5 lands in our hand, that's a lot of lands. Okay, Duress, Damnations, and this Nile Spellbomb probably coming in. We need to keep up with them. Dark Confidant seems okay. Fatal Pushes look important. Might be stripping like 1 Mind Stone, 1 Karn here. Could bring in the Torp Orb. It's kind of an interesting ETB prevention. If we start doing this, we're going to take maybe a second Karn out here. And because we're not so high up on the curve, needing Karn plus something, Mind Stone might be okay. And we can just take out a singleton like Fatal Push or something. Not as much removal. In the bottom, ramp, taking Karns out. And then we're bringing in some of these artifacts that matter. I don't want to bring in a bridge. I don't think that's necessary. Spyglass, we can probably go ahead and just get. The other thing is that Karn would stop a lot of their artifacts from being played, so we probably need to keep these in. We need to find something else to take out. Fatal Pushes are okay here. Blood Chiefs are okay. Maybe just like a singleton Bobble and one other card, like the Necrogen Spell Bomb. Just bring in the actual Spell Bomb, the Nile Spell Bombs, and have the Karns. That seems okay. We need to go after their graveyard a little bit here. We'll have no way to do that from Karn down ticking, but at least the main deck will have these cards. Fatal Push is being taken out because Emery's a little harder to kill unless we have Bobble or Mind Stone to trigger it. Let's bring a Mind Stone back in. I'm going to take one Lily out. All right, last change there. Let's go. Let's play first. Let's get some Inquisition Thought Seizes. All right. Well, it's a one-lander, but we have a lot of one-drops, and I have lots of ways to interact with my opponent here. Let's go ahead and do this. We'll start with Inquisition, maybe draw one more land. Got the Thought Seizes and got the Spell Bomb to take care of whatever we end up dumping to the graveyard. All right, well, we'll take Uro here. We have Galv Blast and a Karn Scion of Urza. Definitely got some time here. Top of the library is a... Really do need it to be a land, and it is. It's a good land for us, actually. Thought Seize here to get rid of Karn, Scion of Urza, and probably play the Spell Bomb. Cracking Misty Rainforest here, getting a Triome. Okay, looking good. Galvanic Blast and some unknown card. Bunch of lands as well. We need to hit our own land again. If I do hit a second land, I might convert this into a swamp. I would shut off Fatal Push though for future things. Let's wait. I don't think it's worth taking that Galvanic Blast. I can pop Spell Bomb to make Fatal Push work. I can also worry about an Emery with the Nile Spell Bomb. We're just going to give them this turn back. Missing a land drop is a little bit brutal for us, but we do have some good things to interact with their hand. Snow-covered Island, we were aware of that. Galblast Breeding Pool. So far, nothing. Let's take a draw. Dark Confidant's not a bad one. Land following this up isn't bad either. Let's Thoughtseize here over Inquisition, because Thoughtseize can take Urza or other cards that are problematic. There's an Emery. I might just let Emery sit there and do the Galv Blast. They just play Emery, and I have a Dark Confidant active. I can get rid of the Emery through a Fatal Push here, and if they leave it in hands and deal with Dark Confidant, I can get it with the Inquisition as well. Okay, just a bobble is what they ended up top decking. Misty Rainforest, and plays the Emery. We get an Uro, Galvanic Blast, and a Gilded Goose. Dark Confidant trigger here. Mishra's Bobble. Misty Rainforest. Opponent's doing everything. Alright, so we have a Thoughtseize Duress. We have a Fatal Push. We have green, green, blue, blue right now. Breeding Pool was already played. We We have a Mishra's Bauble they can redraw with. I'm gonna go ahead and kill the Triome here and Fatal Push the Emery. I know I'm not getting to Fatal Push Uro though, but the amount of redraws my opponent can get here is kind of insane. Let's keep up with them with the Dark Confidant here. Bauble trigger, draws for turn, 3 cards. They have blue, blue, green, green for Uro. Mox Amber played. We're gonna see an Uro here. This gives me an opportunity to Inquisition or Thoughtseize and duress my opponent a bunch. So Uro's played. Gains life, draws a card, all the good stuff. Plays a land. Puts into play tapped. Mox Amber to float green here for Gilded Goose. Dark Confidant trigger. There's a Nile Spell Bomb, just a touch late. Just a touch late. So I could Karn down tick to get a bridge. If I do Karn, I could also uptick on like the Mox Amber. Chump block. Maybe that's a good idea. I think regardless it's Karn here. It's kind of slows down their mana. Maybe I'm supposed to go get something instead. Something like a Batterskull. I'm not at 5 mana. This is proving difficult with the Mind Stone out. Letting this resolve or getting into play is our problem. I'm gonna go get a bridge. Maybe I can at least stop it from attacking me. And I'll be blocking with Dark Confidant, hoping they don't just tap this and attack Karn. I can Thoughtseize and Bridge here to get rid of, say, a Cryptic Command. Land drop for our opponent. Does this to pick up the Galvanic Blast with the Sanctuary. So this Uro is going to attack here and kill Karn. They're going to pick up that. Gal Blast. Okay. So we don't get to keep Karn here. That's all right. Ooh, don't be Urza. Well, I don't have to Inquisition, Thoughtseize, or Duress anymore. We'll probably play Spellbomb Bridge now. Wow. 5 mana with the Urza and the Goose as well. Gets a Witching Well. My opponent's just doing it all. Our discard's probably just not enough right now. Well, it's obviously not enough. All right, well, it's definitely bridge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 cards. We have a random construct here. Definitely a spell bomb and just pass the turn. We're entering the whole locking stage. What does that get us with an Urza here, though? Not a whole lot. Definitely going to be firing off Inquisitions and Duresses. They're pretty useless at this point. 5 mana spins the wheel with Urza. Finds themselves a Sandbar. Plays. 1, 2, 3, 4. So Gilded Goose makes something here. Gilded Goose makes a token. Looks like that'll be the turn here. Attacks for 4, 5. Need to start emptying this hand right away. Let's go ahead and Inquisition them. It's another Urza, that's fine. We'll go ahead and Liliana as well. We can now uptick with this Liliana and get rid of Thoughtseize. They get rid of their Urza. All right, we're entering a point where I could theoretically get this up to 6 and separate lands and creatures or something. Pop the Spell Bomb, get rid of the graveyard. Long shot. Urza spin here, Emery. Emery's played. Baubles are in the yard. Veil, Renin 6, and Scalding Tarn passed over. We can do 5 more mana here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can scry with this too. Draws 2 cards after the Witching Well. At least I can duress a card away as well. Didn't leave green floating here for the Gilded Goose. Plays a Mox Amber. Keeping new Mox Amber. And with this Mox Amber makes a food token? They can spin the wheel again with Urza if they want to. Eats the food token with the Gilded Goose and does nothing. Ah, shrinking. Shrinking the construct here so they can attack the Liliana. Well, not a whole lot I could do about that. Liliana down to 1. Get a land here. We get to uptick. I can't imagine Dark Confidant's a safe play here, so we'll get rid of the Dark Confidant. Let's go ahead and empty the hand here as well. And pass the turn. So we have an active Liliana here. Wonder if I'm supposed to crack the Spell Bomb here to draw. This means 2 things could attack me. Clears the yard out. We have a Mox Amber and a Bauble. With Emery, that's probably a problem. I could also just not draw here. I feel safe to draw, and maybe it's a bad idea. Let's draw. Fatal Push. In response to Fatal Push, kill Urza probably. Nice. Uro would be nice, but getting rid of the Urza here means they're just going to have whatever they top deck. What a good sequence. What a good sequence. No! Bauble. Really good. Gets to draw with Bauble, and then Emery to redo Bauble. That was really good, opponent. It's a really good top deck. At most, they can make something with Gilded Goose and pass the turn. Well, at least force a discard of something here. 2 Bauble triggers. That's not bad. I will attempt to play this first, only because doing uptick means I lose this. Go up, make them discard. I don't see a whole lot I want to grab. So this turn we will get rid of just the Mox Amber. Cool. All right, that worked out really nicely. Looks like they just top decked a Gilded Goose and something else. Locking them out as best as we can. New Urza. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They can spin with Urza. They could just spin once with Urza, and then Karn down tick and go get a Spyglass. Replays a card with Emery. It just becomes mana because Karn's preventing it from being used. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Looks like we're going to spin the wheel again here. Spins. Cryptic Command. Bouncing Bridge. Attack 3 at Liliana, 6 at Karn, or maybe they'll just do 9 at me. You never know. Well, Urza spins one last time, finds the Cryptic Command. We don't have a second bridge here, and we take the 9 damage. And that is a wrap for that one. 1-2 currently in the hole, playing some Black Prison here in Modern. Doesn't mean we're out of it. Let's win 2 back to back. Let's get it. Next match. Match 4 is ahead. We went and got a snack. In fact, we actually ended up eating lunch. Why? Because sometimes you've got to get up from the game and you got to change your luck. 1-2 currently. Let's get that 2-2. Let's win the next one. Playing some Black Prison. Gabriel Nassif's list here in Modern. Let's queue up, find that opponent. Let's see if we get to go first. Let's steal some cards from my opponent's hands. Let's go. Opponent found. Let's get this play. Let's go. Match 4. Got the play. Oh, this hand looks great. Let's keep. Inquisitions, Dark Confidants, and a Fatal Push here, plus the snow-covered swamps and a castle. Let's just take a peek at what's going on and let's get things rolling. Oh no! This isn't a good hand at all. So, how do we want to approach this? Archmage Charm's annoying. The Bolt gets rid of the Dark Confidant. Growth Spiral and Uro, draw and cantrip and more mana. I probably need to get the Dark Confidant down to beat this list. Let's get rid of the Bolt. We just played this opponent, or, well, not this exact opponent, but this exact list, or something very similar. Triome being played. If I hit a Thoughtseize, it might go a little harder here. We'll play our Dark Confidant and pass the turn. We at least get to potentially Inquisition plus something else. The idea here is Dark Confidant will hopefully be enough. My opponent immediately growth spirals and does a Stomping Ground here, puts it into play tapped. Dark Confidant. Luris and a swamp. As nice as the Luris is, I really kind of just want to Inquisition either to the Charm or the Uro away. Let's take one of these cards. Hopefully no Force. Force is getting rid of the Archmage Charm. We'll attack with our 2 and pass turn. They have Uro, Misty, and an unknown card here. Setting ourselves up for maybe Karn the Great Creator. Ren and 6 is played here. I assume they're going to shoot Dark Confidant. They do so. Might be Luris next now. Valakut, Misty, Uro. Like to get the spell bomb quicker than not. We have 1-2 islands. I suppose it's just going to be castle, play Luris, and pass turn, threatening that I could get rid of the that I could play Dark Confidant. I can also kill Ren and 6 currently when they do plus up, so that's kind of a bonus for us. Misty's played here, only 2 islands. Fetching with Misty. So it's not Mystic Sanctuary, thankfully. Basic island. We have Uro and an unknown card. Picks up with the Ren and 6. This way they at least have Uro plus then the Misty Rainforest played in. Okay. This can now go get a Sanctuary. Okay. New Luris here. Let's go ahead and go to combat after the Ren and 6. I will attempt Karn downtick Spellbomb. Taking care of the Uro feels like what gets us back in the game. So Karn, fingers crossed they don't have a counterspell. They have a Remand. All right. Well, we're gonna have to deal with Uro. fetching here. Mystic Sanctuary puts the Force of Negation back on top, I assume. Nope, they decide Remand is okay. We now get to play Uro. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gets to play Uro. At most, we'll get Dark Confidant back now because we know they have a Remand. Nothing I can do with the Fatal Push yet. Maybe I'll get lucky with a Field of the Ruin. Alright, they bolt Luris here. This gives me actually the window to fire off here. They have the Remand, unfortunately. They allow that to resolve. Alright, because they know Karn's coming. Well, we have a Remand. I think I'm going to go ahead and play a Luris instead, because Luris can be played again through the Remand. Cracking. I think Karn might be just a little bit more powerful. Breeding Pool, shocks in, 2 mana. Remand. We'll just slap Luris back down here. And pass the turn. No Bobble in the yard for us, unfortunately. Just a Dark Confidant, which seems pretty good. New Uro. ETBs, draws cards, gains life. 1, 2, 3, 4 cards. Cycles with a Triome. Plays a Triome. We have 2 unknowns. Alright. I think this is definitely the opportunity to try getting Karn down. This way, if we get Karn down, I can go get Spell Bomb. I can use Spell Bomb. I can also play the Dark Confidant out of the yard. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so I have to fire this off as well. Not the worst here because I can get the Spell Bomb back with Luris, which will be the plan if we get that turn. All right, we've cleared out Uro. We've dealt with our opponent in fair fashions. We've got an active Dark Confidant here. Opponent's going to their draw, and we'll see what they can muster up here. Archmage's Charm, drawing a few more cards here for our opponent. Needs a way to deal with Luris, but also needs to deal with the Karn, the Great Creator. Red mana is Bolt mana. Bolts Karn. Okay. And Scape Shifts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So they can just kill us here with a Valakut and enough mountains. Didn't exactly see this one coming. And if they're going to Valakut me and all this, I'm surprised they even bothered bolting Karn. Why not bolt upstairs? I believe this kills me, though. We'll see how many mountains they have. Because we have gotten rid of a few things here. A few fetch lands and all. Nope. I got enough here. Double Valakut plus 6 lands. It's a lot. 3, 6, 9, 12, 21, 24. Anyway, there you have it. Scape shifted. Got rid of the graveyard, felt really good, and then just got blasted to the skies. Ah well. So, we need to deal with Scape Shift, we need to deal with Uro, we need to deal with it all. Need to deal with it all. Collective Brutalities and Duresses can come in for this matchup. I think we can just basically trim Fatal Pushes. Wonder if there's anything else I want. Probably not. Bring 1 Fatal Push back. Damnation, probably not. Bowl Citadel, no. Bridge, no. Batterskull we want to fetch with Karn. Sky Sovereign we can do with Karn as well. Spyglass could be a little bit interesting to have at the beginning. I suppose I want the Spell Bomb over the Necrogen. Haven't gotten to use the Necrogen Luris kind of package. I don't think there's much else to change here. We've got to beat Uro. This is the definition of this year, right? Submit. All right, let's play first. All right, we can keep this. Collective Brutality to check the hand for anything that's problem. Get the Liliana down. Got the Mishra's Bauble. Redraw. Plenty of swamps here. Let's just see what's going on there. Force of Negation's a super nice pickup for them off the top. Karn, the Great Creator for us. Scalding Tarn. I think I just work my way up here. Ooh, Spellbomb looking good. Let's just try to take that Force of Negation or something else. Make them use this to protect their hand. Could have a Spell Snare. That would be brutal. Breeding Pool shocked in is not a good sign here. Veil. Well, Veil. So we know we have a Force of Negation to eventually get through. Assume we're going to just try Mind Stone here plus Spellbomb. I could do Mind Stone plus Collective Brutality now. Can't imagine they counter that one. Let's go for it. Do you have a remand this time, opponent? Growth Spiral. This means they do have the Force of Negation. Ooh. Alright, we have 3 lands here. We have a couple, a Remand, a Force of Negation, and an Archmage Charm. So the Remand gets the Liliana. Force of Negation can be hard cast. Maybe I just take the Archmage Charm. This is a really good hand for them. I could also take the Remand with the idea that, yeah, they can cast the Force of Negation, but that's the last thing they can do. This is a tough one here. I don't think Bolt, and I don't think Scape Shift. I kind of don't want them to cantrip too much here. If they find another land here off their next draw, the Archmage Charm's probably online, which would be kind of detrimental. Maybe we just have to hope that's the case and like try to slam out like Liliana plus Nile Spellbomb, and then look to get Karn possibly. I'm going to take the Remand. I'm going to leave them with Force of Negation. We'll hope they don't draw a land. Well, they do. All right, so they have Archmage Charm and Force of Negation online here. Let's go ahead and try a Mind Stone here. See if this gets any attention from my opponent. Does not. We'll do now Liliana. This should get some attention. Probably the Force of Negation. Might want to just Archmage Charm, apparently. Fetches and shocks in, which is a bit interesting. So I assume it's the Archmage. Just forces. Okay. We'll pass the turn. So they have an Archmage Charm, Scape Shift, Bolt, and something else. There's Uro. This is looking really well lined up here with the Snile Spellbomb. Opponent draws. Does their thing. Does not appear to put a land. So Archmage Charm, Scape Shift, Bolt, and something else. Let's put Spellbomb down first, then Karn. And Karn, the Great Creator, is going to go get... Wonder what I get here, because we know the Archmage Charm's showing up, plus the bolts here. I probably just go up here. And we'll use Nile's Spellbomb to clear their yard, I think. I could hope to get lucky that they don't get another island here and then use this as a draw instead. Drawing seems so sketchy, though. I have Dark Confidant showing up next. Let's not risk it. Let's not risk the Steam Vents coming into play untapped and then a Uro. I don't think we can always get full value out of our Nile Spellbombs. That would just be greedy. I don't think that's what we want to be doing. All right, Archmage Charm to draw some cards. They're trying to hit some lands. And they do, Misty Rainforest. So we got Scape Shift and Bolts. Interesting enough, the Dark Confidant gets us closer to a Scape Shift kill. Let's go down here, try to pick up Liquid Metal Coating. If they have a counter, they'll use it on this. I'm wondering if I just play a Dark Confidant with the idea that maybe just drawing out will matter. Opponent puts an Archmage Charm back on top. Okay. This resolves. We'll play Dark Confidant here and pass turn. They'll probably like seeing this Dark Confidant. They remand. Okay. I'm gonna stop the green and the blue here. The bolt is a thing that could happen. We'll see what matters. Opponent decides this is the Archmage Charm turn. Just draws some extra cards. We have a Uro after this. Plays a land as well. So we have a Scape Shift we have to worry about. We can Inquisition to see what's going on. But this Scape Shift could kill me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's go down to 6 with the Liquid Metal Coating here. 1, 2, 3, 4. This would be 5. I don't have a Spell Bomb in the sideboard. So what is it? Just like Inquisition, steal the bolts here. We have a Growth Spiral, Lightning Bolt, and a Scape Shift Cryptic Command. Is there anything from the sideboard that I want here? I think I'm going to take the bolt. We're going to go ahead and get rid of probably just the Triome is my guess. And we're going to just eat it that I'm going to take a lot of damage and try to spike a Thoughtseize. Need like a pair of them because they have 2 Scape Shifts. Opponent opts. That was their draw. I'm not feeling very good about this. They put the card on top. Green, green. What, blue, blue? Get Uro back. Growth Spirals. Okay. Land. Green, green, blue, not blue. So they're not getting it back, but they end up hitting the Valakut and then they have the Scape Shift and we're at 20. We're just not able to kill enough lands fast enough or steal enough things. We had Collective Brutalities and Inquisitions, but we're trying to battle an Uro in the graveyard and we're trying to stop a Scape Shift from just the lands that are being played. This is a tough matchup. With a few pieces of tempo like my opponent had with the Remand and the Force of Negations, even after going after their hand, it just didn't come together. There you have it though. Teamer, Scape Shift, Uro takes us down. 2 Uro lists taking us down. And Necrogen Spellbomb hasn't been really a problem. We haven't drawn that versus the Nile Spellbomb too much, so not sure if that would have really even benefited us. Perfect example. Even if we went after the graveyard one more time with Karn, my opponent was just Scape Shifting. Well, that'll do it. That puts us at 1 and 3. Well, there's only one thing left to do then. Let's exit 2020 here in style with a W, and let's take down this league. 2-3 is our goal. Let's win the final match. See you in number 5. Match number 5 here. Starting off really nicely with the 2-1, and then just getting slapped around. Necrogen's Spellbomb can easily be replaced with the Nile Spellbomb. Our spice added list here is just not working out. In fact, I'll probably just link the Spellbomb version, not the Spellbomb version. Now you don't know which one. You'll have to click and see which one I link. Match 5 though. We can't do this. It cannot be a 1-4. It's got to be at least a 2-3. Final round here. Let's play some Magic. Let's find an opponent and let's dodge Euro. If we find another Uro, it may be time to Blood Moon. Match 5. Here we go. Opponent found. Let's get it. Let's get that W. You know you want to. Let's find it. Right here. We get to play first. That's always a good thing. We're going to keep. We are going to make Dark Confidant good here as a final hurrah. Let's Inquisition, maybe a Mind Stone plus Nile Spellbomb, and we'll see what's going on after that. Opponent's got 7 cards. Don't show me Uro. We don't do that. We don't do that. Force of Negation and a Life from the Loam. Life from the Loam feels horrendously bad. Getting rid of that. Force of Negation also feels bad. This is going to be a tough one. I'm going to take the Force of Negation. We'll let that Uro show up at some point. We might be playing Dark Confidant next. I don't want to get countered, so that's why we're taking that. Breeding Pool. Tapped. Cool. Let's go ahead and Dark Confidant here, pass the turn. This does mean that we won't be Karning on our next turn. That's okay, though. Snow-covered Island. They don't play Life from the Loam to get it in the yard. Dark Confidant trigger here, finding Luris and finding Karn. These are not good things for us. Let's attack. Guess we'll play Mind Stone plus Spellbomb here. They have a counter, they've got it. Did not pick up a counter. Good thing we have Dark Confidant. Opponent picked up a Growth Spiral at some point here. Gets to put Feel the Dead or Feel the Ruin into play. Picked up a Triome. Alright. That's interesting. They might try to Field of Ruin our Field of Ruin while it's kind of like in limbo tapped right now. Choices, choices, choices. Field of Ruin played. Gonna get rid of my own field. They do. Pick up a snow-covered swamp. I'm trying to decide if this is a great time to do the Spellbomb here. It might be because I have a Luris that can get the Spellbomb back. So let's go ahead and take care of the graveyard here and we'll go ahead and draw. We're just gonna use as much of the draw engine as we can. Dark Confidant trigger as well. Extra swamps all around, good stuff. Let's go ahead and go to combat. So we have Life from the Loam, Uro, Field of the Dead. Might be a chance to go ahead and try Karn the Great Creator now. I don't think we need the Spellbomb off of a Luris, and they're quite aware of this Luris being here. Tail's End would have gotten either of these. They counter the Karn. Go ahead, opponent. We know most of what they've got going on. Plays a Teferi. I guess they'll bounce Dark Confidant here. Does so. Draws a card. Not the worst. Plays a Triome. Let's play a new Karn, the Great Creator. Let's go down. Let's get Liquimetal Coating here and pass the turn. I could get another Spell Bomb. I don't think I need to because of this Luris. So we know a few cards. We also know a few less cards. Uro is played. So we're just going to have to deal with this Field of the Dead, it looks like. Bolts Karn here with the Lightning Bolt. So my opponent got rid of what we were doing. All right. Well, we have 6 mana here. What I can probably just go ahead and do is play Karn and the Liquimetal Coating and get rid of the Field of the Dead. My opponent can Life from the Loam. Which is probably okay. So let's just allow that to all happen. I think we have to force the Life from the Loam here. We can then Thoughtseize check the hand, Luris play Nile Spellbomb, or continue to go after lands with Liquimetal Coating. After all, we haven't been doing much prison work. This might be it. Flooded Strand, plenty of islands here for Mystic Sanctuary if they want to pick something up. Could pick up a Tail's End. It's not good for us. Temple Garden. Shocks this in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ups with the Teferi. 2 mana Life in the Loam. Pick up Field and Flooded Strand. All right. Follows this up with a new Uro. Floating one of these lands into play. Okay, this Thoughtseize is going to be very critical here. Field of the Dead, we have a Fatal Push for this, so we could get rid of the zombie. Extra land's nice. Let's check what's going on. We have a Path, we have a Teferi. Okay. Path plus a Teferi here. We have a Life from the Loam that I've got to get rid of. I can probably deal with the Path over the course of the game. Probably don't want to see another Teferi. Luris is just 4 mana, pick up Nile Spellbomb here. And then after Luris, we'll just deal with the Path, and then we gotta kill the Teferi. Seems all reasonable. Let's go ahead and get rid of the Field of Dead. We will jam out a Luris. We even get a draw with the Nile Spellbomb, which is super nice. Let's go ahead and do this now. I don't expect them to do anything where we get to have a chance here with interacting. And because we're at sorcery speed here, we'll go ahead and get rid of the zombie as well. All right, so we know that it's Path and Flooded Strand. They can bounce something with Teferi to draw, but then they lose their Teferi. My opponent did not Path at end step, but I don't think they had the correct mana. Okay. Bounces Liquimetal Coating to draw. Okay. Pathing Luris. Seems okay. Got this Dark Confidant coming up. Castle, that's a good one. Flooded Strand, unknown card. Okay, so sideboard-wise with the Karn, we could go get a Spyglass and shut this off. I don't think I need to. Let's do liquid metal coating for starters. If this gets countered, that's fine. We'll shut off castle and get rid of it. They scry with the castle. I think we're ahead. Puts both on the bottom. Get rid of the scrying land. We'll play a Liliana. We'll play a Dark Confidant here. And we will uptick with this Liliana. I don't need this Fatal Push. Probably ditching the Flooded Strand. And they do so. All right. Board state looks fairly good here, and we just need to somehow close the game up. We'll get there. We'll get there. This is a lot of mana. What are you doing? 6? Primeval Titan. Fine. Be that way. All right, prime time coming down here. At least I have Bridge. I can get rid of the last card, down tick for Bridge. Dark Confidant's doing its thing. Got a new Field of the Dead. Probably have to leave that alone. Land. So now I can like use Liliana in a different way. Dark Confidant trigger. Fatal Push. Swamp. Let's draw with Mind Stone first. See what else we can hit here. Bobble. We can see what they're gonna draw. Let's take a peek. Omnath. Great. Let's do land here. Let's go get an artifact. This artifact will have to be Bridge. Play Bridge. I don't want to lose the Fatal Push, so let's go ahead and do that. And then we could down tick with the Liliana. Probably just safer to go up though. And then on their upkeep, we can stop. We'll stop something. Bobble draw. Ooh, Luris is a good one. Okay, we don't know exactly what they're drawing here. Shut off the Triome. All right. Top of the library, what'd you get? And they concede. Nice. We actually lock our opponent out enough. Very good. Fatal Push plus Field. Fielding this would be nice, then getting rid of one of the Triomes with the liquid metal coating, Liliana going up. We're gonna get there. All right. What do we want to change? Probably Damnations for this one versus the spot removal of Fatal Pushes. We've been down this road with Dark Confidant before adding 4 drops. Could see a Torpor Orb. I really could. I don't like the idea of Torpor, but I could. Omnath is in there. Playing the money pile. Let's get rid of 2 Fatal Pushes for 2 Damnations. Necrogen Spellbomb out for Nile Spellbomb. I think we just have to go for it then. Just try not to do the Torpor. Torpor Orb is interesting because they can get a big Uro, but then also we stop things like Primeval Titan. Anyway, we'll go with this. Need some Inquisitions and Thoughtseizes off the first few turns here, I think, to have the best shot. I have them, but it's a 1-lander. I'm gonna keep here because I have a Damnation too, and I think I can get away with a few draws here. We'll hit those lands, just like we always do. Spellbomb's not bad. Start with Inquisition. We have a Mana Leak, and we have a Bolt. Well, Mana Leak, goodbye. Cryptic Command and Primeval Titan. Oh boy. Fetching with Misty Rainforest. Gets the Triome. This is going to be a very trying game here on one land. Plays the forest. We have a Dark Confidant. Let's play Spell Bomb, pass the turn. Hope to not get wrecked here. Our one lander not paying off. Misty Rainforest is a new card. Fetching. Just gonna go in another Triome. Temple Garden. What do we got? Uro here. Just gonna use Uro to ramp. Use Uro to ramp. Easy. Field of Ruin played. Alright, they're very far away from this Cryptic command. We hit another land, which is super important. So let's go ahead and Thoughtseize away probably this Primeval Titan. We'll just deal with the Cryptic command and the Bolt. 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like we're okay to wait on the Spell Bomb. They have to cast or do something here. Growth Spirals. Misses their land drop. Here I'm going to go ahead and use the Spell Bomb to help us out with getting to where we need to with our mana base. There's a Luris. Land? Ugh. Let's play a Dark Confidant. This should get the Bolt out of my opponent's hand here. We'll pass. Right now, their hand's not that threatening from what we know about it. Here comes the Bolt. This might mess up their turn a little bit. Flooded Strand getting them closer to Cryptic command. We'll just play new Dark Confidant, pass the turn. What are lands anyway? Flooded Strand here, cracking this. Gonna go get a Triome, the Teamer one. Get some basic island. Growth Spiral. Misses the land drop again. Purges away our Dark Confidant. Cryptic command and something else. Dang. Omnath. Alright. Fetch land will give them the Cryptic mana if they need it. Oh boy, they're already fetching though. Shocking this in, getting the mana. Did they find a Titan at some point? Hour of Promise. Alright. Well, things could look worse. We have a Cryptic command that we have to deal with. We have a lot of tokens, but I've got this Damnation. And maybe if I'm lucky, I'll get land plus Thoughtseize. Is that asking for too much? There's land. Step 1, find land. Step 2, play Mind Stones, because I can play both under the Cryptic. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now I need... Thoughtseize won't do it, because I'll go to 2. My opponent knows this. Damnation? Don't counter? Counters with a mana leak. Vicious. All right, we thought we were ahead. We probably were if I could have found a few more lands earlier. That is the kind of hand we need, though, for sure. I don't think there's a reason for these collective brutalities. I don't think so. I think we just run it back. We're on the play this time. I think the Damnation is not the greatest card, but I think we need it to reset the board sometimes. Let's play first. 2 lands here, Thoughtseize. All right. Don't like the Fatal Push, but I like 2 lands. It's better than the 1 that we had before. Let's lead with this Swamp and see what we can get. Opponent mulligans to 6. That's what we do need. Can we win? Can we take this down? Game 3, match 5. Ooh, my opponent's decided the 1 land way is the right way. I'm really tempted to take this Growth Spiral. Let's take the Mana Leak because it counters our Liliana. And with Liliana on turn 3, we can maybe start going after them if this is the only land they ever have. Scalding Tarn for our opponent. Looking for a land. We miss our land. Pass turn. Come on, land. Not for them, though. Land for us. Them fetching makes me think they top-decked a land. Nothing. All right, we hit Mind Stone. Doesn't give us our black mana just yet. Boy, oh boy, my opponent's kept a 1-lander here. Misses again. I'm going to go ahead and use the field here. I don't want to because then they can go a growth spiral. But using the field here would allow me to play Liliana, but this might open them up. They get an extra draw here. Can I wait? I think I can. Let's wait here because I have Karn. If I miss my field mana here. And if they get a land here, then I can field safely. All right. So here I'll go ahead and field the Triome, so I at least can play Liliana this coming turn. It's like not the greatest thing to be playing, but gives us something to do here. Let's take a look at what we're drawing this time around. Urborg. All right, Liliana, let's go. Do you like this Liliana opponent? This your cup of tea? Liliana resolves. I'm gonna get rid of the Fatal Push. The Damnation's probably okay here. We may be seeing a Teferi soon. I expect a Growth Spiral to be used. They'll probably do this now. Trying to just hit lands. They do hit a land. Breeding Pool. Decides to shock this in. I'm supposing they have a opt. Go ahead, opponent. Gonna set ourselves up with this Karn next, it looks like. A Veil. All right. Urborg's drawn for us. Perch. Celestial Perch. Teferi. Teferi bounce Mind Stone. They do bounce the Mind Stone. My opponent does find a Field of the Dead. All right. So let's do Lily Uptick. I'm going to get rid of a... Blood Chiefs could get rid of Teferi. I think I'll just get rid of a new Liliana. This can get their Uro into the yard if they want it. I want to keep them on their toes as best as we can here. Okay, so we have Mind Stone in play. We could cantrip the Mind Stone if I wanted to. I have Blood Chiefs plus Damnation to get rid of this Uro. Teferi's gone up. Growth Spiral still in hand. Looks like my opponent's not interested in playing on their turn. Okay. Blood Chiefs could kill Teferi. I have a feeling whatever I play here is getting countered. Let's go up first. I might get rid of this swamp. Because then I can play Luris to at least do something during this turn. And then if they allow me to, I'll get to Bobble. I could see a Cryptic Man counter and bounce Liliana. They allow this to resolve, so we get an extra draw. This is positive. I think we'll just pass the turn. If I get to Liliana Emblem, I'm pretty happy about that. Playing with fire here because of the Uro. Cryptic Command. Our Promise. Our Promise. Nice. All right, Hour of Promise makes 2 zombies, keeping Liliana in check briefly. Growth Spiral and an unknown card. Okay, pair of zombies are played here. Got a couple fetch lands too. This Urborg's actually helping them. Up with the Teferi. Wants to play at instant speed, it looks like. I'm not going to block with Lurrus because this is another redraw for us. This Liliana is just not getting there. Much rather take a redraw. Flooded Strand. Field of the Dead trigger, extra zombie here. Misty Rainforest, cracking this as well. Mystic Sanctuary, this can pick up what, another Hour of Promise? Picks up a mana leak. There's not a whole lot I can do about that. Replay Uro here so that they have mana leak to protect their from the damnation. This is our 3rd Uro match in a row. All the Uros are coming out of the woodwork. Plays Uro, picks up mana leak. Do they play a land at all? No land. So Growth Spiral, mana leak. We did not pop Bobble because I was distracted. This is a strategy. An Omnath is going to show up here. Omnath is going to show up, huh? I have to, like, leave the damnation. Try to kill Uro here and see if this gets the mana leak out of their hand. I just need the mana leak out of their hand somehow. I didn't do it. Does this signal too much here if I don't go up? What does going up even get me? I'll just make it that they have to attack Liliana again. They can just bounce Lurrus. Upticking with Liliana just doesn't do a whole lot for us. Inquisition's not bad. Inquisition Damnation's a thing I can now do. Bounces Lurrus to draw another card. We're so far behind. We're so far behind. Let's just do this. Stomping Ground showing up. 2 zombies here, 2 zombies up here. Wow, they're okay with if I had a Fatal Push here. I'm sure they have, you know, mana leak or anything, you know, anything. So Omnath played. Gets a land into play here. Field of Ruin. This will be sure that they have enough to make Uro mana if they want to. I think, yep. So Uro, Field of the Dead, all of this happening here. Omnath's been played. Stomping Ground, Growth Spiral. Plays Uro from hand, it looked like. Just drawing a card. New Field of Ruin. Dealing 4. And just gives us the turn back. Bobble. We get a Dark Confidant plus Inquisition. Well, we'll see what's going on over there. Mana Leak, Growth Spiral, Stomping Ground, something else. Take the Mana Leak, Growth Spiral, and Jace the Mind Sculptor. Well, we have one option, and it's Damnation. Alright, can we beat Uro from the yard plus Jace the Mind Sculptor after a Growth Spiral here? Well, we'll see. Scalding Tarn, fetches with the Scalding Tarn. That's half of our life total. Mystic Sanctuary to pick up whatever they feel they need, which is a Mana Leak. They attack me for 4 here and have Mana Leak. I have one more Damnation that I could play. Need a Damnation off the top, Inquisition to take the Mana Leak and hope that Jace the Mind Sculptor just doesn't wreck us here. I don't feel like we've played necessarily bad. I have a feeling that we just can't steal enough cards from our opponents. Growth Spiral played here. Zombie token created. Attacks for 4. Green, green, blue, blue. Uro. Gains life, draws a card. All the good stuff. Damnation? It's a redraw. Mind Stone with 2 Dark Confidants here and all this. You got us, opponent. Uro takes us down 1-4 overall with Black Prison here in Modern. We'll see you in the conclusion. 1-4, playing Black Prison, recently posted by Gabriel Nassif. Switching out a few Nile spell bombs for the Necrogen spell bomb to try to create more of a lock there with Luris and the spell bombs. You can take these spell bombs out and fix it with some Nile spell bombs. Overall, the list is a lot of fun. I think Dark Confidant is going to generate you a lot of value when it's not been interacted with. To me, the Luris plus the baubles and the spell bombs definitely do make sense, and that's probably how you're going to prevent some of the crazy Uro lists like we saw just taking over the game. List is going to struggle if your opponent gets ahead, though. It kind of has to play about equal. It's sort of like your Rakdoses and your Golgari, the rock lists being need to one removal spell, one removal, one discard, one discard. So unless you're able to do that with your Inquisitions or Thoughtseizes. The other thing is that this list is extremely soft to say a Leyline of Sanctity. So if a Leyline of Sanctity shows up, good luck. Most of your cards try to hit your opponent and target them. The list is pretty sweet, though. I did enjoy it, and I'm sure we'll play it again just to fine-tune our understanding. It feels like this one, you've got to really know what first 5, 6, 7, depending on your mulligans, which cards you would like to take. It's been a happy new year, everyone. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. If you did, consider commenting and subscribing, as always. And with that, 2021's just around the corner. We'll see you in the next matches. Take care, everyone.